All right. Hopefully everybody, you guys can see me, and you did actually hear that. I've been having a lot of audio issues past couple of days with this microphone, so hopefully it's working well. Great to see you, everyone. Great to see you, Chrispy Galactic, Hissy Cat, Brian R. Smith, Hex to Hex, and good morning, Charles Latora. Hope you're doing great. As per usual, a ton of stuff to talk about. I'll pop it on right now. Hold on, I'll get rid of this bit. I'm going to show you what I would like to get through here. Hold on here. I'll Hex to Hex. I'm loving your GBACW videos. Just acquired Into the Woods. Oh, neat. So hold on here. I'm going to pop this on here. So this is the like I said, I would like to do this more often. Hopefully, this will help me. Well, at least show you guys as well what I'm going to be getting up to. Oh, good morning, Gamers with Coffee, Ashley. I hope you had a great birthday a couple of days ago. And I also want to say, mention if anybody was on watching the show there on Thursday night, if I didn't respond to any comments or whatever, I apologize. It was not kind of really that type of show for me. So anyways, that's what I want to say at first. Anyway, so you guys can see the stuff I do want to talk about. So we'll go through here. I think I did the trivia leaderboard. Oh, good. Great to hear, Ashley. So there you go. I think I did it right, Brian R. Smith. So you're awfully close. Like I was saying last week, a lot of this has to do. Oh, good morning, William Arends from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada, which, as you know, at the moment, 1916 is still called Berlin, which I think is totally cool. And we're going to find out when it changes to Kitchener, which is, well, we just have to find, we have to just wait around. I think I did it right, but like I mentioned last week, Chrispy Galactic and Meandering Mike tend to be very smart with knowing that you get a point every time you guess, kind of thing. So that's why I think they're a bit ahead. The Pinup Gal Guy of the week, I specifically made sure that I picked the picture that I did for the Pinup Gal. It's actually a bunch of gals this week. It's the Hello Girl. It's to remind me about the Hello Girl, so that way I can tell you guys about going to the Doughboy Foundation in some other place. Darn it, I can't remember the name of it, but I did put it in the link. Oh, good morning. Great to see you, Meandering Mike. I guess 42. Oh, you son of a bee. You'll have to wait a few thousand years or whatever for them, the deep think there, to finally finish that question or the whatever. It's about, yeah, we'll get to it, but it's really important. I wanted to mention this last week, and I didn't get around to it. This was part of from the poetry reading there that I did, the fireside chat a couple of weeks ago. And coincidentally, the person that mentioned this, she was the one that read that Who Said Sunny France poem, which I thought was really good. Brian R. Smith says, I couldn't watch the field notes live, but did catch it later. Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, I will say this. Thank God. Well, I'm not, let's not get into that, but my God, those two there, Hex to Hex and Clark Commando 1983, are just, I was like, wow, I was in awe watching them. And then also about the ATA, the Arends translation attrition. One thing I did want to mention, I was thinking about, it's been kind of like, you know what I mean? It didn't really become, I didn't properly clear. It was still a bit translucent in my head about the differences in speech that we're starting, at least I notice, between the translated German text that William Arends is doing for us and the English newspaper headlines. I just find there's a slight difference, and I would like to hit on that a little bit more. Due to the fact also, when I read up, and I'm sure you guys have seen this as well, which I found interesting, was finding out that often the German government or the people in power seem to view the British as the true enemy and not the French. And it was more of this ideological, it seems, way of looking at things. And then on the flip side, the same as with the British, the way they're always talking about trying to quash this Prussian view of life or the way to do things. Same as I would like to bring that up, I hope, at some point. And then, well, obviously the World War I and World War I game-related news. A smart thing I'm hoping and we're going to watch it at 1.25 speed, which is a meandering mic trick. No, meandering mic, I'm not going to be watching your 3-hour and 55-minute video that way. I'm going to savor every second properly. That's for bloody sure. I did record the war summary last night, and I think we could squeeze it in at about 15 minutes of 1.25 speed. I tried it last night, watching it. It wasn't too bad. I didn't sound like a chipmunk or anything, so that wasn't too bad. I did it also yesterday. I'm not sure, the night or the day before. I did a quickie map using the Weltkrieg maps to take a look at Erzurum and whatnot, and see if we can see some areas that are just to try to get things a bit more in context. William Arends, the funny thing is that the city changed its name. There still are streets named Wilhelm, Louisa, and Blucher in Kitchener. Oh, good morning, Eric Goebel. Great to see you, man. Please let us know what you're up to. Excuse me. Discuss what top. Who was it that had the Ypres 1914 game that was someone mentioned it on Thursday night? I wasn't sure if it was a new person I had never seen before. Ulan. Anyway, so there we go. And I'm going to quickly go to the narrative. I've already wasted 6 minutes. Jesus, Murphy. Oh my God, did it? You can't see, thank God. I thought for a minute there you were going to see the answer to the history heroes, who or what am I? And I don't want you to see that. So like I've said before, anybody in our show that contributes any material, they jump the queue as far as I'm concerned. So Grog Shed sent me a message mentioning that he's playing a World War I game soon. The original Death in the Trenches, the Schulze game. I think I've got a couple upstairs. I was like, wait a minute, I remember that name. And I do. I've got Allenby 1918, I guess, and that type of stuff. Chrispy Galactic says 6 minutes. We're not getting back. Yeah, you're not. And then the bookshelf book of the week. Can you see it? Yes, you can. Right over there. So I don't know if I'm going to try to do this every week. I don't know what it is about my mind. It seems to love these of the day, of the week type stuff. Anyways, this is a gift that I received from Dad versus Son. It's called Psalm Mud. And ironically, I didn't open it until the day after doing or a couple of days after doing the Who Said Sunny France and all about the mud poem. I was like, you got to be joking. That's great. There's also a couple of Der Weltkrieg videos I want to mention that Clark Commando 1983, who happens to be a participant on this show once in a while. Hissy Cat says, do you have Knock Paris? No, I don't, Hissy Cat. I know that you did. You just recently got that, as far as I know. Then William Arends and I yet again are in sync with him sending articles and whatnot. Meandering Mike says Allenby's Blitzkrieg by Schulze Games is set in 1981. Well, I don't. You're getting it. You got the. I know what you mean. 1918. So thanks. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And this is about when Italy and Germany declare war. And it just last night when I was doing the war summary, I was like, and I'm glad I left it in the show. Yet again, you're going to see in a minute about my naivety around here. Due to the fact I was like, I want to, like, remember I've mentioned this before with you guys. I want to show you my the fact that I am not an historian. I don't want any. I'm not saying that anybody thinks I am, but I want to always make sure that I'm brought down a peg, even in my own mind, of reminding myself, like, be humble and make sure you question things and yourself as well. And so that's what I'm doing. And last night when I was looking at that, I was like, what the hell is going on here? Am I reading this right? It says that, well, we're going to find out about it. And the neat thing is William Arends found out about it as well. And I was like, holy smokes, this is so cool. Then just I think is maybe comical. Later on, you're going to find out about the World War I Historical Association, about how naive I am. Maybe we'll do it quickly. I don't have to show it to you. It was about 2 weeks ago when we had the fireside chat about the poetry thing. And one of the guys was saying, man, Mike says, Chris, you're an integrator of historical content. Cool, man. Well, thank you. That's awesome that you mentioned that, because one of the books that I have at work, I think of saying to you, it's called A Short Guide about Writing About History. And I actually did a scan of it. I haven't shown it to you guys yet. It was a bit more specifically towards William Arends about how to synthesize information and whatnot. And also that led me on to wanting to pop on the Erzurum, the Der Weltkrieg maps. So we could take a look at Erzurum, even though ironically, probably not one of the best maps to be showing all that mountainous area and everything. But anyways, about the historical association, they're getting on talking about stuff, and this is how naive I am. The guy's like, oh yeah, and I went and got to see the 1,000th thing of TAPS, and I'm thinking, TAPS? Oh, there's a whole World War I play I don't know anything about, and it's been on 1,000 times, and no, it's the goddamn bugle trumpet thing that they do every day. I was just like, Lord have mercy, Chris, Lord have mercy. But anyways, that's why I wanted to and there's a thing I just found out today when I was looking up, trying to find out about Pepper Hill, which we're going to find out a little bit about more. I can't remember how to say it in French. Well, Poivre, I can get that bit. But anyways, about the Zone Rouge, which I didn't know. I knew a little bit about. I knew there was these no-go areas in Belgium and France and whatnot, but I didn't know that it's like, there's like a proper administrative situation set up and all that. Also about More Than Meets the Eye on the naval blockade. It's in the sources and links. This is from the encyclopedia thing. I've been trying to look. It's one of the things that intrigues me is trying to find out about the naval blockade, why it lasted for so long after the armistice. I understand they were still, technically under in a state of war and so on and so forth and whatnot, but it was 8 months. I wanted to find out more about that. And this article, especially at the end, he throws an interesting little wrinkle that got me to think, because I'm biased a little bit. And he starts going, you don't just start pointing the finger at the Allies, thinking that they were starving. I remember the German government were doing some administration things, and I started thinking later on about where's the goddamn book? This book, where there's I remember one of the guys in it, he's doing god awful. One of the normal sailors, soldiers, ends up becoming a sailor on that ship. He notices the differences in class structure because, how good the officers are eating, even though the sailors are dying from scurvy, that type of stuff. And I thought, okay, connect the dots here, Chris, just by what he said about the article about, that you don't think that it's not like all German people or all whatever. People are still hoarding no matter where you're at. And if you're in a position of power, you're going to make sure that you got a better slice than other people, as far as I'm concerned. Hissy Cat says, what is your email, Addie? Gamers Coffee. Morning, everyone. Good morning to see you as well. Okay, so and then subject bibliography of the book. Oh my God! And like I said, we haven't gone into anything yet. And then I was also wanting to look up during the week. I was looking up a little bit more about Colonel House. William Arends has brought it up. Remember Colonel House, who I'll show you a picture very quickly. Not a real colonel, was no military post or whatever, but boy, oh boy, did he ever swing a big stick. Anyways, he also did this novel here, and boy, a lot of people bash the living dickens out of it on Goodreads. It's quite interesting to do that. But I also later on went on into Home Before the Leaves Fall website to take a look at some other things about speculative fiction. Hissy Cat says, Zach, Meandering, Mike, thank you, sir. And then I found this, The Great War of 18, and this was written in, darn it, 1901, I think, or something like that. I can't remember, but it should have been earlier. No, it was the other one. This one's 1901. But it just blew me away. It just paralleled very quickly. And this is in, you can get this free. As you can see, it's in the Internet Archive. It just looks so much like World War I. And I was like, but it isn't. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And then also about the Australian War Memorial when I was looking up the information about the Pinup Guy. All right. So I just did a ton of that stuff. I'm going to stop the screen because now we've got to get to history heroes. Who or what am I in World War I? Because we're way off. All right. So the first clue is I was wounded 3 times and left for dead during the Battle of Verdun. Who am I? Who or what am I? Well, oh, sorry. It's who am I? So I'll put it in the comments as well. Hold on here. And then we go. So who is this person that was wounded 3 times and left for dead in the Battle of Verdun? Right. Here we go. Did I put it in? Yes, I did. All right. And I'm going to grab the second one. And then we're going to go off to the Pinup Gal Guy. I think that's a good idea. Hold on here. And then we're, like I said, it's 15 minutes for the war summary. So I'm going to make sure, keep a good eye on that and get into it. And maybe after that, we can start getting into, oh, damn it, what am I saying? I was saying that everybody jumps the queue, and I'm not jumping the queue. Hold on here. Cheapers jumping, Chris. Hold on here. So let's go very quickly because I wanted to show the book, the game that the Grog Shed was mentioning. And I know that there's a newer version of it. Compass has present it. So you can see that. And I'm going to go to 100 and you guys can see that. Excellent. I'm just going to go to 150%. Yeah, so this is that Schultz game, and it's Ben Mattis. I don't know if Wes Ernie is also in the. I'll put in a new clue for you guys. I was captured and spent the remainder of the war as a prisoner of war. Who am I? And I'll put that in the comments as well. Hold on here. No one's getting it, eh? Interesting. Right. Did I? Nope, I didn't do it. There we go. Right. Yeah, so I just wanted to, like I said, mention that one of us is playing this game. The Grog Shed said that he found that Eric Goebel says, we have the Compass version of the table now, slowly playing it through. Oh my gosh. Great. If you can at some point, let us know. William Ayers is oh yeah, sorry. I'm hiding the current comment. I didn't put in the right whatever. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, please let me know how, if you can, or let us know how it goes, because it looks really interesting. And I saw it for about Charles. Oh, well done, William Arends. Charles de Gaulle, you got it, man. And in an odd way, you kind of sped up things for us. Hold on, I'm going to stop the screen. But anyways, yeah, I'd like to know. I saw it at Great Board Games there, which is coincidentally in Kitchener. And I think it was about $80 Canadian or something. I could pick it up, or $90 Canadian, which I thought was kind of cool. Okay, quick. Well done, William Arends. I'm going to pop in the remainder of the clues here. I tried and failed to escape no less than 5 times. I again take arms for the resistance, this time in World War II. I end up becoming leader of my country, and I have an international airport named after me. And I'll show you the quickie picture, I guess, if I can find one. Hold on here. First off, I have to go to the actual whatever. Hold on here. So we can see him a bit younger, I guess. Everybody probably normally knows what he looks like. Oh my God, I didn't. Hold on here. I got to crop the image. I didn't crop the image yet, so hold on here. It'll be quick. And then we can go to some other stuff here. All right, present the screen, share the screen, window. So that's what Charles de Gaulle looked like in World War I. I don't. It would be interesting to know when that was taken. I'm assuming not as a prisoner of war. Who knows? Maybe it was. Maybe I don't know what kind of stuff they did to keep things like, you know. Anyways, let's go to the bookshelf book of the week, which I thought was really well, obviously wonderful that someone would send me something here. So I'm going to pop that in. Goodreads. I just thought one thing I was really neat, like I said, I just thought was blew me away was the fact that, there we go. So Some Mud, and it's about an Australian soldier that obviously fought in the Battle of the Somme. So I thought, right on, this is going to be a fascinating reading. It looks like a lot of people really enjoyed it. Meandering Mike says, Noble Knight is Compass version of Death in the Trenches for 64 USD. Yep, and yet again, it looks like a pretty darn good game. So I want to find out a bit more. I would like to, hear about actual playthrough type stuff. Okay, so we got that bit. Hold on here. And I can get rid of that, and I can get rid of the banners. Hold on here. Now let's go to the Pinup Guy, Girl and Guy soonish. Let's stop the screen. want to make sure what else did I do. Oh yeah, the Weltkrieg videos. I just want to make sure that people know about them. So like I said, I think it's a good idea. Hold on here. Anyways, he's Clark Commando's got. Oops. You probably wouldn't mind if we played it, but I'm not going to be doing that. I just wanted to show you. So there you are. I popped them in the sources and links, so you can go a lot quicker if you wanted to see them. But he's done two more videos, so that's pretty neat. There's actually somebody mentioned. We got more comments here. No, we don't. Yes, we do. Eric Goebel says, random events make the game for us high replayability. Yeah, Clark Commando 1983 was mentioning that on Thursday night when we were talking about Death in the Trenches, and I thought, that seems really neat. And I'm wondering if I'd like to know also the difference between what the new, besides just the map and type of stuff and like some of the components, if it looks a lot better. Okay, let's hold on here. I want to see what else I can do. Now we're going to get into this bit, William Arends, and we're going to take a quickie look at your stuff as well. I think that's a good idea. So we're going to go to here, and you know what, William Arends? There. So I haven't shown it to you, and then we're going to get to the ATA, and then we're going to go off to. Oops, sorry. And you guys can see that good, and I'll bump it up. Hold on here. Now, why is this being brought in here? List of war declarations. Gamers for Coffee says more. Oh, sorry, I'm reading the old stuff here. Hold on, I'm way down here. There we go. The reason being is I'm going to show you in a second. This week, the Italians seized some German ships in the Mediterranean or the Adriatic, and in the article, it starts saying, oh, yeah, by the way, now that's a declaration of war. And I was like, what in the world are you talking about? Italy and Austria-Hungary have been at war for months. What is going on? Obviously, they're at war with Germany. And I was like, Chris, you probably don't know what you're talking about, as per usual. And that's when I went on to Wikipedia to take a look at this. And then a few hours after that, William Arends sends me a note about it. So I was like, okay, hold on. We're going to get to the ATA here. I was just like, you've got to be joking. Like, so interesting stuff as far as I'm concerned. I didn't know. And again, it's also, I know it's not exactly the same thing, but I can remember way back when I was wondering why afterwards they were talking about when they were, I think it was part of President Wilson's thing much later on about no more secret treaties and all this stuff. And I was like, what the hell, who cares? And then Tolemykus was talking about it afterwards, saying, well, it's because, afterwards people are just not going to trust you, kind of thing. So I was wondering if it was one of these weirdo things. Gamers with Coffee Ashley says, I have to get back to work. Good day, everyone. Great to see you. Yeah, I hope you have a good time. I'm sorry you had to go to work. So I think it's number 3 is the one. Aha. And you haven't seen it yet, so you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. All right. There we go. And you guys can see that. I'll get rid of me so you can see it more. There we go. Translator note, it's interesting that the Italians were simultaneously in conflict with the Austro-Hungarians, but not yet in a state of war with the German Empire. And like I said, when I saw William Arends write this out, I went, oh my gosh, this is awesome. What is happening with neutral countries such as Portugal is also interesting. Yes, and yet again, this is it goes over and over and over again. William Arends says, I haven't bought anything from Great Board Games and Kitchener's yet. Another Kitchener war game James Whitmer has. He was happy with the price and availability of games in stock there. Yeah, I was actually just talking to Grog Shed as well there, William Arends, today about it, that he has purchased from him, because I was like, hey, man, maybe we'll go together. But it doesn't really matter anymore due to the fact it used to be over 150 bucks Canadian, you get free shipping, but not anymore. What is happening? This is the time in the war when the world starts turning away from the Central Powers. Holy smokes, William Arends, did you ever nail that on the head when I read that sentence? I went, yep. This is you hear is it gearing up towards with unrestricted submarine warfare again, and on, and all the higher ups know what's about to happen. It was like, wow, like it's over with. The momentum is too much. The ball has gone that way. Anyways, Italy sees, and here we go. Italy seizes 30 German ships. A violent act of Italy after Italy, Portugal. Trade Minister Runnemine said during an address in the lower house that the Italian ambassador had communicated to him that 30 German ships that had been forcibly kept in an Italian harbor by the Italian regime have now been seized. I'm not going to go through this whole thing due to the fact that I'm about to babble on for 15 minutes, and I don't want to drive you guys nuts with my voice like in this bit here. We're going to talk about it, William Arends. And like I said, yet again, I'm still trying to figure out how to squeeze everything in. I've eaten up so much time just babbling, and we haven't even really got into anything of substance, for goodness sakes. But yeah, this will be brought up. You're going to see this in the war summary. Okay, and I think that's it. Trust me, William Arends, we will get to the other stuff quickly. I want to, like I said, I want to go to the Congressional Medal of Gold Medal thing. Let's do that. Oh, I haven't even done the Pinup Gal Guy. Let's do that. Because I said that's what we'll do. And then we'll go to my 15-minute babble. That makes sense. All right. So let me put this in the banners, as I did find it here. There we go. How do I do that? Did I not add that? Oh, okay. Did you not do that? Yes. Okay. There we go. Oops, that's the wrong one. I want this one. There we go. 2 female employees of the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway Chief Mechanical Engineers Department at work on a telephone switchboard. And I'll hide the rest. It doesn't really matter. Well, you know what I mean. Meandering Max is not babbling. You're making an interesting world. Thank you. So this is what I wanted to get to because I was, let's see here. Where are you? I can get rid of the, nope, I don't want to get rid of that guy. That would be horrible. Not that. It's the, no, where are you? Hold on, I got to, oh, nope, the wrong one again. File open, I got to go to Pinup Gal Guy. Yes. No, it would be under the description. I really want you guys to see this because you guys have the power. I don't in the United States. The people in the United States do. I don't. So, and it's right here. She was really, really passionate about this. Like she was like, really like please people. There's like 70 hold on here, I can pop that back on. Okay, and then I can just do this. She was like if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, I think she said something about there was and you know what's so cool, we used this picture as a World War I image of the day way back when. And on a side note, I will say this, I am so flippin' happy that we're also doing the daily headlines. That is really helping, I think, with context, especially also to the fact that you know, I missed so much stuff. But anyways, here you go. I put it in the sources and links, and it's about these hello girls deserve a Congressional Gold Medal. She shows you how to do it, the whole 9 yards. Like I said, the person was extremely passionate about it. I can't obviously do that. I don't live in the United States. I'm not an American citizen, but I wanted you people out there, and it's got nothing to do with it. Like she said, this is completely nonpartisan. Yeah, the Hogwarts Witches, Chrispy Galactic says, holy cow, eh? Yes, you're right. We'll leave it at that. Okay, so we'll stop that, and now we'll go to the Pinup Guy, I do believe. Hold on here. Because I showed you that. All right. Who in the world? Okay, yes, this freaked me right out. Now, the reason why I picked him, I was actually looking for an image of the day for cooking, and this guy popped up, and I'll pop him in the banners. And I was like, well, and I went with him. Let's see. I just want to make sure I get him right. Okay, so there he is. And we'll find it's Sergeant Francis Thomas Hooks, and he was from the, and I'll show him to you in a minute. But when I saw it, he just looked like he had like a twinkle or a smirk or something going on with him. And I was like, well, screw this. I'll pop him in for the Pinup Guy of the week. And so you can see where he's from. And there he is, Sergeant Francis Thomas Hooks, 3505 Unit 24 Battalion, attached to the 8th Battalion, Australian Infantry, Australian Imperial Force, and he died on May 17th, 1916. And from that, I decided, hey man, I want to go and find out what the hell was going on May 17th, 1916, where the hell he was. And did I write it somewhere? I did, but I can't. Will I remember where I put it? Probably not, darn it. Shoots and ladders. Let's see. No, I don't. But unless, no, I didn't. No, shoot. What the? Anyways, I did find out a little bit more about that battle. But it was part of. Shit. Oh, darn it. He wasn't part of the Battle of Verdun, I don't believe, but anyway, darn it, I had the specifics too. It was part of where the Germans take back a trench, and I was like, holy F, that's probably him there. And if I went a little bit further, I could start getting into Wonderland, and just don't have time. All right, so you know what? Let's hold on. I just want to make sure that and we can get rid of his thing here. I got another comment. Well, Arends says, I've purchased a VPN service that allows me access material restricted to those in the US while I'm in Canada. Ooh, you little brat. Oh, which is a good, you're a good brat, especially if you're getting into stuff that, is World War I related. That would be great. Okay, what else have I got? Hold on here. I want to make sure that I've got the little list. Okay, yeah, let's, so I did it was the Zone Rouge. Like I said, we don't have to show it to you, but I was just amazed that there is an actual, they're not all like interconnected or whatever, but they're like, you can go on a map and you can see the no-go zones. I know that Harro Bosma is not here this week. Remember last week he was mentioning that his sister's over visiting, but he's been to Verdun. So I would love to find out a little bit more about what he said. He said it was pretty grim. Looking, I can imagine. I talked about the naval blockade. We don't have to worry about the subject bibliography is all right. Found out about Colonel House. I've mentioned that. Speculative fiction. You know what? We did basically almost the entire narrative, so I'm bloody happy. So what we're going to do now, we will go to the Azurum thing, and then let's do the week that was quickly. That makes sense. All right. And then, because we got, we're not bad. Okay, we're not bad. Like I said, it's 15 minutes as long as I don't screw us over here. And yet again, hopefully this will help with everything else as well, like with William Arends. And please, William Arends, hope to God you don't think all your work you're doing is in vain. It is not. Trust me, it is not, man. I'm trying to put everything in together. It's interesting. So there on the 25th was the day out from last week. There you can see. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because, like I said, you're gonna hear me for a good 15 minutes. But I wanted you guys to take a look at, and you guys can read it yourself and see what the heck's going on. An abrogate. I got to find out the hell. I keep seeing that bloody word this week, and it's, I guess, like to cease or to stop or whatever. I thought that was to rescind or whatever. I thought that was kind of neat. There you go. Yeah, a lot. And yet again, William Arends, you were also mentioning that a lot of sinkings and whatnot going on. There's the activity on Italian front, the Durazzo thing we're going to find out about. Fort Douaumont, they capture that. But it was an interesting thing to find out about. There's also a town called Douaumont that not just listening to the Wesley LiveStream podcast last week there, and he was like, it was actually a bit of a cock-up, I think. I'm not sure if it was obviously must have been the French. And they stopped, these French reinforcements stopped at the town of Douaumont because they thought that's what you were supposed to stop at. And they were actually supposed to stop at the fort, that type of thing. I was like, oh, yeah, that's so neat. And yeah, we keep hearing about the Bologna. Charles Latora actually commented on it earlier in the week from, I think, one of the headlines. And here I put a question mark because I didn't understand what I was reading. Sometimes some of the scans are really brutal. And I was like, well, I'm not going to try to ad lib or whatever. So I put it in there. And now you can see there, as we knew it was going to happen on March 1st, that they were going to start to resume the submarine campaign. And there we go. And the Queen of Romania, which you're about to see tomorrow in one of the headlines, because I've already done that. All right, so we can stop the screen. Was that what I wanted to do at all? Oh, no, I wanted to show you the quickie Erzurum video. Then we'll go to the whatever. That hopefully will give you a bit of context. So hold on here. I got to get to it. I can go to here. And I don't have it in my thingamajig, so hold on here. I got to get it into the links again. And where would you be? In the description? Or I can go, hold on here. I will find it. I will find it. Trust me. So I popped it up, so it's like in my little library or, for videos kind of thing. I just got to go to content and then go to the Erzurum map, which is what it's called. Okay, I'll stop. I'll pop that. And I'm going to present, and hopefully you guys can hear it in the whole 9 yards. I don't know what's going on with my camera. Seems really okay. Anyways, I'll shush. Avoid the porn. Oh, trust me. Yeah. We'll not get into that. Okay, let's go. You guys can see that. I'm going to get rid of me. Thanks, guys. Can you hear me now? Thanks. I'll replay it. Can you hear that bit anyways? I wonder why it didn't do that. So I'm going to stop the screen, present the screen, share the screen, Erzurum map, also share the audio tab. Yep. Okay, so you can hear me. Jesus H. Christ. I don't understand why it was not. Okay, I'm just going to shut the hell up. And we'll see if this works. Okay. And all right, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, but I just kind of wanted to kind of show a little bit of an overview. I know it's not the best map to be doing this with. It's also 80% scale of the Weltkrieg map. So yet again, it's all not so good, but I did want to show a little bit here. Hold on, if I've got my forceps, yeah, I do. It's just for primarily down here in Mesopotamia, where the British Indian troops had started their way back when, and then this is where Kut is. So I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit. Not too much, I hope. Let's hold on. Oops, shoot. This went a bit much there. Okay. Also, I'm not sure. We'll do it later. But like I said, I'm just trying to help myself out, and hopefully you guys as well, put things into perspective and into some context, because a lot of these places keep being mentioned right now as we're going week to week. So here's, like I said, here's Kut. That's where the British Indian troops are surrounded essentially and being besieged by the Ottoman forces here. There's Baghdad. There's Kermanshah, which the Russians have just taken in Persia. They've also just taken Bitlis here in Armenia. And this is the big fortress town or fortress city of Erzurum that the Ottomans have just evacuated from. And they were saying, like Indy Nidell and whatnot were alluding to, saying that even though they were well supplied, I guess a lot of them were saying, look, we're not going to maybe potentially what happened to the Austro-Hungarians in Przemyśl in the, you know, in the winter of 1914-15 when they were besieged by the Russians there. And coincidentally, there's Sarakamesh. That's where the back in the winter of 1914-15 that the Ottomans launched their offensive towards, and it went horribly wrong. And there's Ritsa and Trezeban. I'm not sure. I know that obviously the Ottomans started withdrawing forces back towards this area. I'm not sure if the Russians are also mounting infantry down here. I do know that they have been bombarding. They were bombarding that area with the Black Sea Fleet, and I remember hearing roughly something about amphibious landing attempts. Now, I'm not sure. You guys may be able to tell me. Yes, I'll see if I can bring it up quickly. I don't want to too much. But I just noticed this now. This is Sochi up there. So I don't know if that's part of the Sochi Winter Olympics. That it's right over here. So I don't know if that's that would be interesting to know because I don't. That's that. Like I said, hopefully this will help put some things into context. All right, that's it. Hope you're having well. What am I saying? It's part of the live stream. Well, still, I hope you're having a good one. All right. Good. Okay, so now I'm going to get to the next one. Okay, thank God the thing works. Yeah, it was really neat to notice the Sochi thing at the very end. I was like, is that the Sochi Olympics? I wonder. All right, so hold on here. I want to get to the final bit. It better be up there. I'm going to. Okay, it is. Thank God. And like I said, I'll put it to 1.25 speed. That should help. Just let me get it going here. And playback speed will go to 1.25. William Aaron says that's it. Sochi, Russia, and the Black Sea. Thanks. Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's geography. I know so little about. Even when I was looking up some videos, like current videos on Erzurum and whatnot. Oh, I got to keep an eye on the video time here. Yeah, I was like, oh, it's mountainous and whatnot. But they're like, oh, first snowfall of this and so on and so forth. And I was like, And then when I saw Sochi, I was like, okay, maybe this is a bit more. But I was so glad. Thank you guys for mentioning this. Meandering Mike says the Great Russian Misdirection, hold the Olympics and then hey, you. Okay, so we're gonna pop this to there. Unabated intensity. The French Midnight Report states that between the right bank of the Meuse and the village of Arends, the Germans have given proof of the same desperate determination as on the preceding day and have multiplied their furious attacks, leaving heaps of bodies upon the field without being able to break our front. French military writers are confident that the lines to the north of Verdun will prove impregnable, and that a retirement from the entire first line of trenches and earthworks would not greatly lessen the French defensive strength, as there are two other series of trenches between the outer line and the forts of Verdun. All right, off to page 2. Oh, yes, look at this nice map. Yeah, that's all I got to say. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's a nice looking map. The capture of Bosma would not be disastrous to the French, but it undoubtedly would make possible an effective bombardment of the city of Verdun from the north by German heavy artillery. Compared with this stupendous struggle around Verdun, in which over 500,000 men must now be engaged, events elsewhere are comparatively unimportant. The seizure by Portugal of a number of German steamers lying in Portuguese waters was probably a measure of precaution taken to prevent them from getting to sea and becoming privateers after the pattern of the Move, I do believe. The ships may be used by Portugal during the war, but the government promises that the interests of the owners will be protected. Under the circumstances, it is not likely that Germany will do more than protest, which they did. A Russian official report tells the German night attacks in the Riga-Vinsk region, the attacking parties being clad in white. That is so neat. The Pester Lloyd, an important Hungarian paper, states that on Monday, a joint Austro-Bulgarian note was presented to Romania inviting amicable assurances regarding the constant strengthening of Romanian troops near the Bulgarian frontier. If these assurances are not given, the Central Powers may begin to put pressure on Romania. But since Erzurum, the result would be very doubtful and might well drive the Romanians to the side of the Allies. I'll say this, I know I'm not supposed to be whatever, but remember, we also know this week that King Ferdinand went to see Franz Joseph of Austria, and then there was also that little thing about the Scandinavian peace thing going on with the Bulgarians. From Durazzo comes a dispatch stating that the Austrians have abandoned their advance into Albania owing to the impassable roads and the mutinous spirit of the Bosnian troops. The German drive toward Verdun proceeds, especially along the river road from Consenvoy. I knew I was going to get into trouble with this stuff. The French midnight official statement says that to the east of the Meuse, the battle continues with undiminished ferocity. Several German attacks on Pepper Hill, carried out with heavy effectives and with unheard of violence, have remained unsuccessful. Another attack on our positions in La Vanchy Wood was likewise stopped. This report indicates that since the drive began on Tuesday morning, on the eastern bank of the Meuse, at a point just south of the Consenvoy Bridge, 15,000 yards northwest of the city of Verdun, the Germans, by the sacrifice of immense numbers of men, have advanced southward slightly over 8,000 yards and are only 4 miles from the city. The probability is that, despite their immense 15-inch mortars and their army of 300,000 men crowded into an 8-mile front, so that as thousands fall hourly, other thousands will be immediately available to take their places in the carnival of death. Oh, geez. The Germans will not be able to win their way by shock tactics much nearer to Verdun than they are at Pepper Hill. If they really mean to capture the city at all costs, they will have to entrench and bring up their siege artillery. Naturally, expressions of confidence in the result come from both Paris and Berlin. The French commentators are firmly convinced that the Germans cannot afford to pay the price in the blood of their finest troops that must be paid for the possession of Verdun. The Germans point to the average gain of a mile a day during the past 4 days over a field of action upon which the French have been constructing defenses for the past 18 months, and declare that the advance will be continued till success crowns the efforts of the Crown Prince's army, which is ironic because he's about to be recalled, and I think he already is. General Joffre has begun a diversion in the Champagne, which may prove important. It is announced that yesterday forenoon, an attack was made upon a German salient south of Saint-Marie-P. The French carried the position and took 300 prisoners. Good news comes from both General Aylmer. Oh gosh, I wanted to look it up when this actually happens, like later on, because this is, as far as I know, this is a big pile of BS. This is absolute crap. This is not happening. Good news, I may be completely wrong, but I don't think so. Good news comes from both General Aylmer and General Townsend in Mesopotamia. Kut El Amara is in no danger. Townsend has supplies for a long period. The Turks have ceased their costly and futile attacks upon his position. His men are sowing vegetable seeds and listening to talking machines while away the time. Seeds and talking machine needles, for which he asked by wireless, were dropped into his camp from an airplane. Somewhere in the vicinity of Townsend's camp is the traditional location of the Garden of Eden. The world has moved a little bit since Eden. If Eve had been able to drive away Inui with a talking machine or by a visit to the movies, even the Huns might be content with a less ambitious place in the sun. The Austrians officially announced that they are closing in on Durazzo and have already captured 700 Italians. Romania means business. It is announced that all naturalized Romanian citizens between the ages of 21 and 46 must report themselves for military service. There is evidently some ground for the Austro-Bulgarian note calling for information as to Romania's intentions. In Armenia, the Russians continue to clear the country of the Turks. It is announced that they have taken by assault the town of Ishbir, which lies on the southern slope of the coast range, about midway between Erzurum and the Black Sea. All right, number 5, we're doing pretty good. Verdun baffles the general host. In the Battle of Saturday, the bringing up of French reinforcements began to show. And I think this is when Pétain is starting. General Pétain has been brought in to basically sew up the defenses here. And he's, yeah, I think this is, here we go with the La Voix Sacrée and the whole 9 yards here. For the first time, the dispatches indicated that the French counterattacks were not only holding the Germans, but were driving them back. Fort Douaumont, which was captured early on Saturday morning, which would have been Monday our time, after a number of assaults, which cost the Germans extremely heavy losses, was reached again during these counterattacks, and the German lines were pushed back beyond the fort. The Sunday midnight French official report seems to suggest that the Germans do hold the earthworks of Douaumont. The text of the War Office statement is as follows. In the region north of Verdun, following the violent actions of the previous days, we noticed during the day a certain diminution of the German efforts, excepting between the height of Douaumont and the plateau north of the village of Vaux. All right. The Sunday report from Berlin appears to deal with earlier events that these recorded in the midnight Sunday French statement. It speaks of 5 attacks by the French to reconquer Douaumont and the repulse of these attacks with sanguinary losses. And we're going to see that word again and again in this summary thing. The battle is not ended. The most likely explanation of the pause that took place on Sunday is that the immense stores of artillery ammunition with which the conflict was begun a week ago are pretty well exhausted on both sides. the concentration of French reinforcements around Verdun and of Germans to the north will inevitably involve a renewal of the struggle during the present week and its continuance until the Germans either take the fortress itself or discover that the price of Verdun is so high that they cannot afford to pay it. The sanguinary struggle for 3 days around Pepper Hill will rank as one of the great battles of history. The losses there must have been terrific in the case of both French and Germans, and it is not too much to say that had the French been expelled from the position on Pepper Hill, the evacuation of Verdun might have become a necessity. Today, the odds are distinctly in the favor of the French retaining possession of the great fortress of Meuse. Elsewhere on the Western Front, there's little of importance. The artillery of the Allies had been very active in the Artois region. A dispatch from Rome confirms earlier the press bulletin stating that the Razzo had been evacuated by the Italian troops stationed there. There are now no Italian troops at any points in Albania except a small strip of territory around Avlona. Petrograd notes that the renewal of activity in the Riga section and adds that in the Caucasus, the Russians continue to pursue the Turks, although a fierce snowstorm is in progress in which Russian soldiers go forward up to their chests in snow. 10 ships were destroyed by mines and other causes in the war zones. 8 of these, of various sizes, were British. The biggest loss was that of the P&O liner Maloja, which struck a mine and was founded off Dover. And we did know about that. The feature of the French Midnight Report is the statement that north and east of Verdun, no infantry action was reported in the course of the day, and that on the north front, the bombardment has been continued with less intensity than on preceding days. Although relative inactivity prevails on the northern front, there's been an important change to the east of Verdun. The French continued their withdrawal to the heights of the Meuse. The earlier excavation on Sunday had been made without the knowledge of the Germans, but the retirement of Monday and of yesterday was continued under fire. Berlin states that the German troops have occupied Dieppe, Abalcourt, and Blanzay, and have cleared out the wooded region west of Ventonville. Maluz also is claimed, although the French, referring to this, state that an immediate counterattack brought French troops back to the western boundary of the village, which is now held under the French fire. Okay. Paris reports great artillery activity in the Bain de Sap region of the Vosges. The Germans east of Sepois succeeded by an assault in penetrating the French trenches, but a counterattack was at once launched, which drove the enemy from part of this position. A curious dispatch comes from Berlin stating that the Premier of Greece accuses the Allies of attempting to starve the Greek people into rebellion against their government. It is asserted that the Greeks were forced to live on vegetables and fruits during the period of attempted coercion. The Bulgars, and I'm just going to zip down quickly here. The Bulgars, however, have shown plainly that there is very little likelihood of an advance unless the Germans send a great many more men that they have at the present time in the Balkan Peninsula. Basically, saying would some of the Greeks be so wigged out if the Bulgarians went towards Salonika. The seizure of German ships in Italian ports, which is officially announced, is an act of war. This knocked me on 3 bells, man, or whatever. I was like, what? Is this like a screw up in the article? But I guess not. I have to go and look. I'm like, did Italy and Germany not declare war by now? Because Italy and Austria-Hungary have been duking it out like there's no flipping tomorrow. What's going on here? The seizure of German ships in Italian ports, which is officially announced, is an act of war and is expected to result in a declaration of hostilities between Italy and Germany in a very short time. Shipping all over the world is exceedingly scarce, and the 34 German ocean-going vessels released for the use of the Allies by the action of Italy will be of considerable value. I don't understand this declaration of hostilities. So they're already at war. So it's like, shouldn't that be resumption of hostilities? Anyways. The Russian general, well, hopefully we'll be talking about it. The Russian general staff replying to some Turkish fairy tales about the capture of Erzurum, and especially to the observation that the city was really not a fortress, but merely an open town with fortifications devoid of any military value, states that Erzurum was the only fortified point in the interior of Asia Minor, that it commanded all the best roads of Transcaucasia and the interior of Asia Minor, and that for many years its defensive works have been under improvement by the Turks, assisted by the Germans. So there you go. The news from Petrograd that the Germans on the Eastern Front are bringing up enormous quantities of incendiary and explosive bombs, enlarging their aerodromes, and preparing generally for a great offensive movement is somewhat surprising. The sinking of La Provence, while in use as a transport, is a sore blow to the French Marine. We're doing not too bad. The fighting on the Western Front, according to the latest official report, was practically confined to artillery. No infantry action took place during the day in the region of Verdun. The operations in the Moselle region may prove to be a fresh drive by the enemy. The Paris report shows that the Germans are beginning to exert pressure on the French line at its most eastern point. And the last one. 20 aerial fights took place on the British front. It is officially reported that one of the British machines failed to return. Oh, I'm glad I reread this. The first time I read it, I was like, none of the British machines. That's why I have a black dot there. North of the Somme, British infantry and machine guns repulsed an attack. In the neighborhood of Ypres, the artillery kept up a vigorous bombardment. The pursuit of the Turks in the Caucasus is in the direction of Kermanshah continues, says the Russian official report. The Russians captured 2 more guns. German aerial attacks were made on the Russian trenches northwest of Friedrichstadt and at Vinsk. There's no comparative calm in the Russian-Poland theater. A seaplane raid on the southeast coast of England, according to an official statement, did no military damage. The death of a 9-month-old child was all the raiders could boast. Lord Kitchener's speech at the Guildhall was significant, as emphasized. And this reason why I have a black dot is I find this interesting because he was he was not a big, from what I know, not a big thing about the naval blockade from a distance. He was more into like, let's get boots on into Europe. Lord Kitchener's speech at the Guildhall was significant as emphasizing the military importance attached to the war of economic exhaustion on which the Allies have embarked, and also notable also for his declaration that every man could be spared from military service was wanted at the front. Well, that's what he likes. On the Italian front, heavy artillery actions are reported in the Gorizia zone. The naval activity of the enemy in the Adriatic and Mediterranean follows close on the heels of a conference in Berlin between the Archduke Charles Stephan, chief of the Austrian Naval Staff, and Admiral von Tirpitz. It was agreed at this meeting to arrange for closer cooperation between the German and Austrian fleets. This announcement followed hard upon the news that Admiral von Paul had been superseded in the command of the German High Seas Fleet. The last change in the command marked a new departure in German naval policy, and recent happenings show that the retirement of Admiral von Paul was the prelude to further activities. Not much has been heard of the Austrian fleet, but it is a mistake to minimize its influence in the Adriatic and Mediterranean. Evidence of its activities has been frequent of late. The Austrians have a decided advantage over Italy in the widely different character of 2 Adriatic coasts. The Dalmatian coast has many secure havens, the approaches to which are hid by numerous islands. The eastern coast of Italy is bare and unprotected and has few sheltered anchorages from Venice to Otranto. Avlona and Corfu are the advanced bases of the Allied fleets guarding the Adriatic, but Malta is the principal base. When the Germans decide to give battle in the North Sea, it is likely that Austria will at the same time seek to create a diversion in the Adriatic. The abandonment of Gallipoli has released the large Anglo-French naval forces there and set them free to aid Italy in any development that may arise in the Adriatic or Mediterranean. And there we go. Hopefully that went well. We'll find out in a second. All right, good. We've got 3 minutes left, which is freaking awesome because now we're going to go to the William Arends, the ATA, and zip through quickly. And hopefully, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to read it, but what I'm hoping you guys can see, Manny Mike says, Armenian is just pulled out of the, I don't know what this, any of the heck you guys are talking about. I'm assuming it must be some, wow, whatever. Maybe you guys can kind of see what I'm noticing about the difference in language. It's also, yet again, I mean, from what I know, the English language got its Germanic roots. So there's going to be this, there's a lot of commonality in our thinking, but even this slight diversion, I'm starting to wonder how, like worldviews, it's also the way people can think just due to the fact of the words that they can use. For an example, I'm just saying somebody that is like, let's say Mandarin or something like that and grew up in a completely different world, like is thinking very differently. It just, to me, is like a fascinating thing. So just let me get into it because we're rapidly running out of time here. And I wanted to show a little bit here. So there we go. Yeah, and remember it was about I think it's pronounced Mauve. And then William Arends wanted to bring up yet again about Erzurum and what's been going on. This bit here, like I said, I'm not going to read it quickly. Hopefully you guys can take it. I'm going to see if I can find, it was more, I think maybe the third or the second one where you, William Arends, where you put in some of the stuff of like, this is coming. Yeah, it is. Hold on here. Let me go to the, I don't know if it'll let me, will it do that? Oh, goody. Let's see if that, good. It's It's just the way I found the way they phrase things. You know, it was acknowledged what the Germans have won on the ground, and where by no means it should be added, have the French been able to hold up a further. It seems, you know what I mean? Like many times I'm noted it's like the same stories, but it's exactly what I wanted to see to help us is to get like a different way. But I was not expecting, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I certainly, there we go. So you can finally see me a little bit. I was not expecting this. So it is the second one. No, it's this type of stuff here. Like I found just the way they, like, you know, like there are no meaningful results to report. I just don't think that's the way I've noticed it anyways, that it's coming from the globe, that type of stuff. Okay. You know what? Point. I'm going to stop it now. We're we've done an hour. I think that's pretty darn good. I hope this was an okay show. Like I said, I'm still trying to, bumble about here, and hopefully it's going to get better. Yet again, thank you so much. I hope to goodness that I was able to respond properly to everybody's comments, and also to, your contributions to our show, for goodness sakes. So that's it. I hope you have a great weekend, a great week. I hope to see you next week, and we'll figure out when the world's going on. Okay, Chrispy Galactic, no worries. That's it. Okay, see you later. Thank you guys so much. And please let me know if it went. Oh, thank you. Okay, bye, guys.